For years, many people grew up believing that spirituality and wealth were opposite paths. How many times have you heard phrases like, "money is dirty," or "those who seek wealth cannot be spiritual"? This lie, repeated generation after generation, created an invisible barrier in the minds of millions, a barrier that keeps them from prospering, even when they pray, even when they believe, even when they seek a life aligned with faith. Today, you will discover that this separation never existed. Being spiritual does not mean living in misery, and material abundance can also be an expression of divine grace. The Bible shows that kings, prophets, and men of faith prospered not only spiritually, but also in wealth and resources. Abraham was blessed with riches, Solomon received wisdom and unmatched prosperity, Job lost everything and later received double. So why did this lie spread that spirituality and wealth cannot walk together? Because there is power in the human mind. Those who believe in scarcity attract scarcity. Those who feel guilty about making money sabotage their own abundance. This illusion served to keep many imprisoned in lack, believing that living poor was a sign of holiness. But true holiness is living with purpose, using the gifts and resources God gives us to help transform lives. Napoleon Hill once said in Think and Grow Rich, that desire is the starting point of all achievement. If the desire of the heart is pure, there is nothing wrong with wanting to prosper. On the contrary, money in the right hands multiplies good. When you prosper, you can provide for your family, bring comfort to those you love, invest in projects that help others, and multiply light in the world. The problem was never money. The problem was always the mentality around it. Today, we will break this mental block together. We will expose the lie they told you about spirituality and wealth. You will see that prospering is also a way of honoring God, for abundance is the reflection of the universe in motion. Nature is not limited. It is abundant, fertile, expansive. In the same way, you were created to grow, multiply, and prosper. Get ready to transform your vision. This message can be the turning point you've been waiting for. The most dangerous lie about spirituality and wealth is believing there is virtue in poverty. This idea has been rooted for centuries and has become a burden in many minds. But when we look at creation, we see that nothing in God is scarce. The sun never saves its light. The sea never holds back its waves. The tree does not calculate how many fruits it will give. Everything is abundance. And if the Creator acts in abundance, why should you believe you were born to live limited? This belief that money corrupts and that prospering is a sin makes many refuse the blessings already destined for them. True spirituality is not about denying life, but about expanding it. Money does not change character, it only amplifies it. If you are generous, you will have more means to be generous. If you are honest, you will have more resources to practice honesty. Money only reveals who you already are. When Jesus multiplied the loaves and fish, he did not do it to prove scarcity, but to show abundance. That is the true spiritual meaning of prosperity, to have enough and still be able to share. Many still believe that clinging to faith requires total renunciation of material goods. But what would become of the mission of so many men and women of faith without resources? The truth is that wealth and spirituality can walk together when aligned with purpose. If your heart is at peace, if your goal is to expand good, there is no guilt in desiring prosperity. On the contrary, the universe responds to that legitimate desire with more opportunities, ideas, connections, and open doors. The problem is not wanting prosperity. The problem is believing that prosperity will distance you from God. That is the lie that keeps so many praying, but without concrete results. Money itself is neither good nor bad. It is simply energy that circulates through our choices. The lie you were told is that by seeking wealth, you automatically move away from faith. But this is nothing more than a mental block. The real question is, what do you do with the money you have? One person may have little and still be selfish, while another may have a lot and still use it to bless thousands. Napoleon Hill said that the human mind can transform thoughts into physical reality. This means that by believing wealth is a sin, you close the doors to your own prosperity. But by understanding that wealth can be a spiritual tool, you begin to attract opportunities aligned with your purpose. Ask yourself, have you ever felt guilty for wanting to prosper? If so, know that guilt is not yours. It is conditioning that must be broken. True spirituality is expansion. There is no hidden light, no locked love. Everything divine is abundant. Money is not an intruder in this process, but a manifestation of energy that can sustain and multiply good. Whoever convinced you otherwise may have done so to keep you dependent, limited, always waiting for others to decide the course of your life. But when you awaken, you realize that prospering is not a sin, it is part of the plan. Jesus himself said, "I have come that they may have life, and have it abundantly." Abundance includes peace, joy, health, love, and also material provision. There is no full spirituality in misery, for constant lack takes the mind away from prayer and into despair. Prosperity is not vanity, it is liberation. Prosperity is not just the result of hard work, but of the vibration you carry within. Many work tirelessly and yet remain stuck in lack because they carry limiting beliefs. Others, with less physical effort, attract abundance because they believe they deserve it. This is the key Napoleon Hill revealed. The human mind is a creative powerhouse. If you feed thoughts of guilt, scarcity, and unworthiness, life will return exactly that. But if you sustain thoughts of abundance, gratitude, and worthiness, the universe conspires in your favor. So stop believing the lie that spirituality and wealth do not match. What really matters is aligning your wealth with your purpose, using your resources to expand good, and living in peace with what you receive. Now that you understand the truth, it's time to act. Spirituality and wealth are not enemies. On the contrary, they are forces that can walk together to create a full life. Imagine prospering without guilt, using your wealth to care for those you love, to help those in need, to expand projects that bring light to the world. That is the true meaning of abundance. Money should not be a burden, but a divine tool. So, the next time you hear someone say that spirituality and wealth do not mix, remember, that was the lie they told you. The truth is that you were created to prosper in all areas. Comment below if you have ever felt this internal struggle between faith and money, and how you plan to transform your mindset starting today. And don't forget, like, share, subscribe, and help this message reach more people. To prosper is to honor the gift of life God gave you.